It's the start of a brand new week. It is Monday, the 25th of October, and it's, of course, the week of the On a Mission Mile, the newly named charity mile, which is now sponsored by Allied and Steel Road. It is also a big week for Soccershop.Bet because we start off the week by our live streaming. So if you're a big live streaming fan, we'll be doing our Vaal racing there today. Neil and I will be making our way to Lance Michael's offices to broadcast the 8 races live for you today. But Neil, it's also the week of our tipping service, which we'll be giving to the public later on this week from Friday through to Monday, and a great special on offer.
Yeah, it's one price gets all, which I know administratively is better for you, and it's better for our customers for sure. So we've got many who are particularly happy about the way things are panning out with our tipping. So I'm sure they'll be back. But if anybody out there wants to give us a go, as Nico will tell you, it's 150 Rand for the whole shoot bang caloodle. And it's a big weekend. I'm actually looking forward to it because we don't know what horses are going to stand their ground for the new Allied Steel Road charity mile, but it's going to be a good field. I think it's going to be better than the average field actually in recent years.
Yeah, well, the nominations showed that, Neil, as well. So it will be very, very interesting to note that. But just a little bit about it all. And I'm looking to get a bit more impetus from Lance a bit later on with regard to these subscribers. I'll tell you more about that after today. But here it is. Here's the deal. If you're looking at getting involved, you can come through to us. It's 150 Rand for all 5 meetings this coming weekend, 30 Rand a race meeting. And all you have to do is deposit your 150 Rand into the FNB current account number on the screen now, 6290 552 8321. You need to send your deposit slip and your name to our WhatsApp number 079 390 5747. Or if you'd like the email preference, email your name, phone number, and your deposit slip to clockingthegallop@gmail.com. And as I say, we'll be looking to Lance to maybe give a few spot prizes like we did the last time, Neil. And if he does do that, then we'll draw that next week after we've had all the uptake of this particular Clocking the Gallop Extra initiative. Right, that's it for the moment. Well done, by the way, to the Ghost Rider yesterday. I tweeted it after I'd seen you for a lunch yesterday, Neil. And the Ghost Rider was in particularly good form. I didn't follow racing, but a 1,600% profit in his place accumulator from 108 Rand. He got nearly back 2,000 Rand, which was fantastic.
Yeah, excellent play. And, it's not easy, those KwaZulu-Natal meetings. So to find that value was very good and well done to him. So long may that form continue through the week and into the weekend.
Okay, let's kick on with today's racing. I must say at the outset, Neil, that there is going to be rain out at the Vaal today. There's 100% chance of rain. It's already started raining in and around Joburg. So we are expecting some rain and maybe some delays today. But the first race kicks off at 1:05. 8 races programmed. The track condition at the moment remains good. It was a splendid day yesterday and the day before, but they are expecting rain during the course of the day out there. And we'll note that a bit later on. But let's go to the betting for race number 1 now, Neil. Race 1 is a maiden plate restricted to 3-year-old fillies. It's up the straight mile. Remember that today's racing is not on the classic track. It's on the main track, which means that this one is up the straight. The changes here, the favorite number 3, Dame of Flames, has a tongue tie, and number 6, Queen Theodora, who I think is the second favorite, has cheek pieces on. Now, Neil, this Dame of Flames was heavily back last time out and disappointed. I mean, she went off prohibitive odds and she finished a distant third behind Bold Decision. There was no kind of effort. But I'm just saying this today, that she's got this tongue tie on, which obviously they've got to the problem because she had a respiratory noise first time out and blowing the second time out. So maybe she gasps for breath, this filly.
Yes, and so were the punters last time, Nico, gasping for breath. But I think that, I'm a big rap for these Futuras. and they are going to mature into better horses. I think the last run was all wrong. And yeah, that's the key. I think, as you mentioned, the respiratory noise, the blowing, and if that's attended to today in this kind of company, I think it's the natural horse to beat. So for me, Dame of Flames is the first choice. Having said that, there's a couple of interesting first timers, aren't there? And there's no money for them from what I can see, but you know, there's an act of war out of a Roy mare, Dennis Schwartz, for the Bacchus team. For Tyrant Zaki, and particular interest, number 9, Gift of Giving. And you'll remember Badger's Gift, the mother, was a prolific winner and was a lovely, Group 1 winner. And I always felt would make tremendous brood mare. This was bred by Gaynor Rupert and is raced by Drakenstein Stud, and really could be anything. So it'll be interesting, but there is no money for her. But I think you've got to respect the that respect the pedigree. So for me, the benefit today is that the first leg of the bipod, which is this first race, will be at Soccershop.Bet. We'll be able to have a good look at what's happened in the market, and we'll get an update from Jason and Eric as to where the follow-through support is. But I will certainly be putting number 9, Gift of Giving, in if she looks well, if the nuances coming out of the Alec Laird yard are positive, then I'll be putting 3 and 9 in.
Yeah. Neil, I'm interested to find out how the 4 goes here, Bella Swan. I'm not the biggest coup de grace supporter, but the mother, Grandalia, raced for Cliffy Miller, Neil. I remember her being raced most of the time in Kimberley, but she often came to the Vaal when I was calling frequently. And she didn't do badly at the Vaal. I remember her showing a distinct liking for that track, Neil. And I'm a big one for supporting progeny of horses that did well on the track. And Grandalia did. And I'm expecting her to improve. I know that Queen Theodora's got her beaten on form by a good few lengths. But I'm expecting Bella Swan to improve today at 12 to 1. So watch out for that. But Dame of Flames, lots of money for that. And as Neil said, watch the first timers in the first race. Not a race to get overly involved in, but certainly one to follow us when we're at the live streaming session later on at Soccershop.Bet. Now, race 2 is a 3-year-old maiden, also over 1,600 meters, and this is for the boys. Changes in race 2 as we stand at the moment, there are none. Now, Neil, lots of money for King of Venus, the son of Vercingetorix. It was a buyback by Klavervlei Stud. They bought it back for 425,000 Rand. And we know that Ablon has come up and won again subsequent to this. The question mark is, he was running on he made up 7 lengths plus, fastest last 400. So he's obviously looking for the ground. And Gavin Lorena aboard today, but there's been lots of money for this, into even money.
Yeah, I think he was a classic case of a horse being completely dumb on debut. I mean, he didn't know what was going on. And the penny then sort of dropped. Lyle Hewitson rode him on debut. If you have a look, I mean, he was 9th of the 800 and 10th. He was actually going backwards. So a horse had gone past him. And then all of a sudden, the penny dropped literally, and he started to pass horses rapidly. Now, with that run under the belt, this is the type of horse that will improve, I think, leaps and bounds. And there's nothing to substitute experience, even with good horses. And there's an enormous upside for this fella. He's a Vercingetorix. Trippy is the broodmare sire, and Trippy had a fantastic day in Cape Town on the weekend for Drakenstein, for Gaynor, and particularly for Candice Bass and Valdo de Meyer. We both rate him extremely highly as a broodmare sire. So, and we rate Vercingetorix. So for me, King of Venus, I'm certainly going to banker him in the bipod, and I'm going to banker him in the PA.
Okay, so Neil, big on King of Venus. Obviously, that first run said it all. He was running on really strongly, and he showed the quickest time from the 400 to the finish. The horse that I wanted to also point out to you, Neil, here is number 2, Flashy Apache, Neil. It's been 6 months off the track, but I think those first 3 runs were not bad. And I'd be looking at him and seeing how he canters past. I see he's 10-1. This horse, Ocean Warrior, is another one that's just joined Paul Peters' stable. He formerly with the Justin Snaith yard is another coup de grace. There's no support for him, but he's drawn on the inside of the track, which is not necessarily the best. And so too is King of Venus. They're both drawn inside. So there might be a bit of value with the two. Flashy Apache here, who is at 10-1. But outside of those, I don't think there was much else, Neil, to pick out for you in the second race.
Okay.
Let's move on to the third race, and there is some breaking news in the third race, and that is that number 5, Bill Human's scratch now, Lady of My Life. So that's come out coughing. And the latest news as well, which is just filtering through, is that Samanga Kamala, Neil, has been medically indisposed today.
Oh, well, that is significant because
he breaking news. Yeah,
had some good rides.
So we were talking about him riding Gift of Giving, but I quite liked him here on I was going to say Super Trooper, Abyssal, Cooper Trooper, which is 9-2. But the latest news is that Kamala is not riding. So that's come through as we're doing the show. So that's going to significantly change some matters a bit later on. So just having a look here, Cooper Trooper, Neil, they put Lorena on.
Wow. So well, we're happy with that. I also like it, Nico. That's my first choice.
Yeah. So that's
value choice, I would say, because it's 9-2 in the betting. So that was my value selection.
Well, Gavin Lorena's been put on now. That has already been confirmed. But Stunning Kitten, Neil, after Wisteria Avenue galloped away to another good one over the weekend, is now 9-10. She's had her chances, but she is the favorite ahead of Cooper Trooper. And then Shakura and Arizona Lady are next best in the market. Lady of My Life, I've mentioned the scratch, but it was 75-1. So there'll be no deductions. Now, Neil, compression mask on Cooper Trooper. I think it's the value horse.
Definitely the value horse, Nico. Only because Stunning Kitten deserves her maiden win, and she's got every chance. I mean, let's be honest. If she doesn't convert today, I don't think she's going to get a much easier chance to shed her maiden certificate. So I fully expect her to be competitive. But the truth is, she's a 5-year-old. This is her 9th start, and she's been getting closer. 4th, 5th, 5th, 3rd, 3rd, 2nd, 2nd. So if you follow that 3rd, 3rd, 2nd, 2nd routine or system, she should win today. But she is a 5-year-old, whereas Cooper Trooper is a lighter race, not much lighter, but because she's had one start less. But she is a 4-year-old daughter of Master of My Fate, who tend to do well. And initially she had Kamala, now she's got Lorena. So both are excellent riders. And she does go over the trip that she's been over 2,400 before and stayed nicely. So for me, no question, it's the value in the race. But for buy pot and PA purposes, I'm going 1 and 2. Nothing creative. 1 and 2 for me there.
Okay. Like your way of thinking there. As we move on to the fourth race, which is a maiden, start of the first jackpot, 2,000 meters. They run at 10-3. Just having a look here, obviously we're awaiting the new rider for number 8, Apache Gold, with Kamala not making it out to the track today. Number 3, Compromat, races unshod. And no blinkers now for number 10, Zavia, the son of Twice Over. The blinkers have come off. I thought, Neil, when I looked at it last night, that Robbie Sage held the key over here. I don't know if you followed that first timer that I tipped on Saturday, which nearly won at 40-1.
I believe so. I didn't see the race, but I know nearly won. Yeah,
nearly got up and won. It was well bred, but Robbie Sage, Neil, is a very, very shrewd conditioner. He's a very wily man. And I know that we went for Secret Link to improve last time out. And I think even the time before when it ran to Mitch got his wish. But even though he's drawn out at 10, I still believe he's the right horse to win here.
Yeah, I think I think it's not a great race. So he's got to be the first choice. I'm not so sure I'll be rushing to take 2-1. We don't have a replacement for Samanga yet, eh?
No, we don't.
Yeah, I think that could be the improver. Well, he improved last time. Apache Gold from nowhere with Smunger on board. But, you know, those first 2 runs were behind Castletown and Safe Passage, both of which have gone on to win a couple of races between them. And he is a daughter, out of a daughter of goalkeeper. So I like that pedigree. So I agree with you. The Sage Yard has a strong hand. I'm just thinking that there might be more value with Apache Gold.
Yeah.
But he's better drawn and so forth. I don't know. I mean, I've had enough of Joe Harmon, as I told you a while back, to be fair.
Yes.
You know, I said he'll keep picking up his places, but he's going to struggle to get the job done, I think. And a 13 draw doesn't help his cause, and neither does Mr. Blue Sky's draw. I had a bit of a loon, perhaps. Actually, I've got 2 loons. Let me just tell you what they are. When I say loons, I think that there is potential for them to improve. One of them is purely on pedigree, and that's number 6, Dance Partner, from St. John's Yard, which has been very quiet, but it hasn't run for 254 days. Obviously had its problems because it had a respiratory noise and was disappointing at the second start. But, you know, this Modus Vivendi and Jam Alley combination has proven very successful for St. John over a good couple of seasons. And if you remember, this family, I tipped the one day at 66 to 1 and it won.
Yes.
The same combination. And I think, I can't remember, it had quite a decent jockey on. It might have been Gavin Lorena, I don't know. But I just flagged it again here in a race that I don't think is particularly strong. Also, Dance Partner is a 4-year-old. He's only had the 2 starts. I think there might be some improvement there at 25 to 1. And the other horse, Nico, was the Tyron Zaki Yard again. Interesting, Craig Zaki rides number 11, Arlington Action. So you've got 2 sons of the Apache here. I mean, he's not exactly the world's most prolific sire, the Apache, but I thought it was an interesting race. But I hear what you're saying. I agree with you. I mean, Secret Link and Apache Gold have to be the key runners for the Sage Yard. But if they were to flop, then it's got an open look about it.
Yeah. And so Arlington Action is an interesting runner because I think you went for it last time out and it did definitely improve by a few lengths there. But I thought that, as I said, Robbie Sage, I thought had the key, Secret Link and Apache Gold. We don't know who's riding Apache Gold just yet, but I think those were the 2 for me that I quite fancied there in the 4th race of the day. Let's move on to race 5, and that is due for 25 past 3. It's a merit-rated 66 handicap. And the distance here is 1,500 meters. So we're back up the straight here. There is an important scratching, Neil, the 33 to 10 chance, number 2, My Kingdom, who I quite like, Neil, with Gavin Lorena booked to ride it. I thought that would have a big chance today, but that's gone. Scratched, cast in box. Just quickly, Neil, Gavin Lorena has been confirmed on Apache Gold as we're doing it.
Oh, okay. Oh, well, this is good. This is getting good. Well, I like that.
So that at 5 to 1, Neil, is looking, it's looking like it could be a punt because the Safe Passage run isn't too bad when you take into account the Safe Passages done. So 5 to 1 Apache Gold, Gavin Lorena gets aboard, Neil. So that's extremely interesting there. So as we move on to race 5, now the other change in race 5 is the cheek pieces are off number 4, Dragon Queen. So not only the scratching, we're awaiting the rider for Cape Town Affair with Kamalo not riding now. So that is still awaiting a rider. Now, Neil,
Nico, what price is going to be Gavin Lorena? I say it's going to be 5 to 10. It's Gavin Lorena again. In which case,
because he's off My Kingdom now.
Correct.
No, but there's a chance, but Fortune and Lorena have their issues, don't they?
Do they?
In the past.
That'll be interesting. Well, I mean, if I was the owners, actually, I think the owner is Kelly Haddon, who's got shares in our horses. And and I was actually going to send her a message today. Maybe she's watching, wishing her the best, because I actually like Cape Town Affair. Eh? I think, he's come tumbling down the handicap, Nico. He's 36 points lower. 36. Yeah. That's 18 lengths lower. And, earlier on in his career, we always felt he was, to be polite, average. But he's been helped by the handicapper now. And he is a 2-time winner. I mean, I think he'll be very competitive in this field.
Yeah. So yeah, I was definitely in the camp of My Kingdom, Neil. I gave Wakas a big chance too. De Gavea seems to have come back with a lot of energy, Neil. I don't know if you've noticed that in his riding. He won on that first timer for Michael and Adam Azzi on Saturday and won a really good race. And he knows this horse Wakas pretty well, who he rode last time out to a third behind Blue Moon City. But if you look at jockey and horse, Neil, 5 times De Gavea has been on it for a win, 2/3 and a fourth. So he rides this horse particularly well. I thought Wakas will go well the course and distance. I wouldn't be rushing out to take 5-2, but I think he is the horse that I'd be most interested in with My Kingdom being scratched. But like you, I think Cape Town Affair could represent the danger. It'll be interesting to find out who rides it. So again, I wasn't particularly busy with anything else over here. We've been for quite a few. The only other one that I had an inkling for was the Rose of Bashar, number 8 at 12-1, with Solomon's taking 1.5 off. But Solomon's has disappointed me in the last 2 weeks to no end on several rides. And I just don't know whether he's got his mojo back yet.
So for me, Nico, it was Cape Town Affair or the field. And I'm going to put all the field in, including a horse like Procrastinator, including the top weight because it's Paul Peter and Warren Kennedy. And yeah, so and including even, believe it or not, Bangor Night. Because on 1 or 2 lines of form, I mean, if you have a look, so actually, I mean, I've just said I like a bit of Atomic Blonde, and Atomic Blonde up the top there was 5-1 at one stage, and the betting has been backed in. But if you look at the run on the 22nd of April in the Vaal Classic race, Atomic Blonde's gone up from 60 to 61. And Bangor Night has gone all the way down to 6.5. Remind you, by the way, I factored in before people say, oh, don't forget Colin Jacobs has lost his -4. He has. So he's only claiming 2.5. So that's relevant for later on as well. But nevertheless, Bangor Night, therefore, today will carry 49.5 and means that he's down 6.5 kilograms. So he's 7.5 kilograms better off for a 4.5 kilogram beating. So, I mean, he's got absolutely no form, but he's drawn 1 Bangor Night, which is also probably isn't helpful because we're up the straight. But what I'm saying is, for me, it's going to be Cape Town Affair or field. Yeah. I would go field.
Okay. Yeah, we don't really see it the same way, although I do rate Cape Town Affair. My top choice was Wakas, but I also gave a chance there to the other favourite, Habib Runner. But race 5 is tricky, as you say. I'm just looking to see whether they have declared a rider on Cape Town Affair, Neil, because these are coming through thick and fast. Yes, they have. It's Ryan Munga, Neil. So Ryan Munga.
Well, I suppose we should have worked that out. He's written it before.
Yeah, he's written it before. Ryan Munga gets another chance on Cape Town Affair there. Just having a look over here in that race and confirming Bangor Night is Caller Jacobs 2.5 kilos. Okay.
Well, there's a job for you, Nico. A job for you in the. I mean, your brother's sort of involved in diplomacy. Yeah. Maybe you can see if you can offer a olive leaf between Andrew Fortune and Gavin Lorena.
Yeah, it'll be a big, nice challenge.
I didn't know that. But anyway, look, maybe it's actually not an issue because Ryan Munga's ridden it the last 5 times. So I suppose he probably was
I think time heals everything, Neil. You know, we know in racing, you and I have been in the game long enough that there have been a number of spats between riders and trainers, and time heals. And you find out years later. I mean, we know the Stratham and Azzy story. We know the other stories, you know, that people kiss and make up and life goes on, you know.
How are Lyle and Muzzy these days? After, remember they had when they were both going for the title, again, you know, they had that one incident.
Yeah, but I think, you know, life moves on, and Lyle is preparing to leave. I think we might speak to Lyle this week actually, because I know he rides on Charity Mile Day, or keep on saying Charity Mile, but on a Mission Mile Day he rides on Saturday, and then I think he's off. I think he's off beginning of November. He's gone, and. You know, would like to catch up with him. So maybe I might pose that question to him, Neil, in an interview I do with him later this week. Let's see what it is. But I think time, as I said, heals. And I think it could be well water under the bridge now, that incident. Okay, Neil, we're moving on to race 6, which is a merit rated 66 handicap over the straight 1500 meters. The change is here. Scratch number 1, Let's Talk, is out, and that's the only change at the moment that I can pick up. I was a bit iffy on this race, Neil, so I'm going to leave it to you, and then I'll come back and sort of do the last touches. But Sergey is 7 to 10, 8 to 10.
Yeah, that's crazy short, Nico. Crazy short. And oddly enough, I suppose there'll be some Paul Peter and Warren Kennedy fans who are prepared to take that. But to me, that was very short. Not to say that it can't win. Of course it can win. I mean, and he's the form horse in the race. Rod Becker's, by the way, I always enjoy Rod Becker's, his form comments. And I read them today, and I think he's probably right. He says Sergey's holding form should be hard to oppose in this lineup. And I think he's right. It is my first choice, but I don't know. 7 to 10, like you, I thought was a bit skinny, and some others come into it. Unfortunately, Let's Talk is out. I don't know what happened there, because the Monty Racing guys must have just recently bought it, because it hadn't run since the 24th of June. So
yeah,
that's Monty and his team, and of course they had Smungo, but it's been retired from racing, so something has gone pear-shaped there, unfortunately. But Nico, for me, Sergey and Cover the Field. I do have one Shrudy. I wanted to find out your take on it, though. I like a little bit of a runner here. Well, I like 2 runners. Let me start, and then I'll get your comment. I'm going to tell you my Shrudy, but the horse that I think will run well is the stable companion to the favourite Sergey, number 9, Zabajad. Now, this is a 6-year-old rising 7.
Yeah.
But he's sitting off 52.5 kilograms. And, you know, he's been kept in training. I think he might be competitive in this kind of a field.
Yeah. What's happening there?
Oh, someone's coming down the stairs.
Okay.
It's Malibi's coming down the stairs, but she's made her debut, even though it's audio-wise. Yeah.
Yeah, Neil, I've been for Zabajad too many times before, not for me.
Yeah, me too.
Try the second one.
Okay, well, the second one for me is Joe Soma's horse. I think that'll run well, Just As Rich. I like him. He's had the blinkers on the last 2. They now come off. I think just looking at his racing pattern, he's been a bit too keen.
Yeah, he was too
and in
keen
fact,
with the
computer
blinkers
forms.
Yeah.
Yes, and it's the computer form confirmed that. Over raced early behind Ultra Quick, and then last time also went to the front and was too keen. I think ridden more conservatively by Mr. Mariba, who's done this really some good favors.
Yeah.
And I like this horse. That would be my value play in the race. I like it a lot. Number 4, Just As Rich, Nico.
Okay. Yeah, so I definitely prefer that to Zabajad, Just As Rich, and I think that might be a nicely priced 12 to 1. But I wanted to bring up this filly in the race. I know it's not a classified race, but Indigo Winter, Neil, from the St. John. You mentioned St. John stable earlier, and they have been very quiet, Neil. It's almost like we haven't seen St. John for a while. So I'm just going to actually have a look quickly and just see, you know, what the story is there. They did have that winner, Gilda Gray, but I don't think they've had many runners. They had a winner with Gilda Gray about 11 days ago on the 14th of October. And prior to that, their last winner was on the 25th of September, but they haven't had many runners. That's why you can't see. So there's obviously going through that whole vaccination process and taking a bit of time off from racing and waiting for the reins. But I somehow believe that this horse, Indigo Winter, Neil, is better than its last run. They've put the blinkers on, and I'm expecting improvement from the 5, Indigo Winter, at 14 to 1. So that's the horse for me that I was expecting a better performance from today.
Yeah,
I want to leave it out.
I think the St. John story is 100% right, and you know, all stables go in and out of form, and they're a bit streaky. But perhaps St. John more so than any other yard, because when he's firing, he's deadly. You go through, you know, 5-6 week period of bang, 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 and normally in the last race, by the way, he's very good at winning the last race.
Yes.
But yeah, you might be right. I mean, she's a What a Winter. The mare was pretty useful.
Yeah, she was.
Anyway, the bottom line is.
Yeah, she won.
So what would you do here? What would you do? Because I tell you what I'm going to do, right? I'm going to, when I put Sergei in, I'm going to put the 1 in order to double up, because it is my first choice. It has to be. So I'm going to go 1, 3, 4. I'll add your 5 and number 9.
Yeah. I'm also, it's a flat race for me. It's not a point in putting in the field. I think some of them are no hopers, but because I'm not
is Flexible Fugitive and a complete no hoper?
I don't know, Neil. I never looked at it too closely, but I don't think so. With 50.5 kilos, again, McCauley's been a bit indifferent in recent weeks.
But I think he's been better than most.
Yeah, he's Flexible Fugitive been rested a while, Neil. So he's coming back from a lengthy rest. No, if you're looking outside of those, then it may become a field race. But I don't know if I'll be rushing out to take 7 or 8 to 10 Sergei, Neil. I don't know.
No. Okay. Yeah. No.
That's a tough one.
Well, for me, you've heard just as rich as my value. In the race.
Okay, we move on to the 7th race, which probably is the best race of the day, Neil, no doubt. It's a graduated plate over 1,200 meters. Now you've obviously got Leopold scratched, and the latest scratching to come through is Mufasa. I thought Mufasa was very off color in that race behind Grappler, Neil. Cost people a lot, but he didn't look well going to post. And he didn't run well, and he returned blowing. So obviously there's issues there with him. I just wanted to see what the reason for the scratching is. Off feed. So there we go.
There you go. Yeah.
It's not its form. But Neil, it's very a race full of talented horses. No cheek pieces, by the way, for number 16 Gold. That's come through as a change. But the interesting fact of the matter here is a very important equipment change. It's going to lead me to tip this horse confidently today. And
blinkers on smorgasbord.
Blinkers on smorgasbord, Neil. And, when you look at its last run in context, Neil, to run 2 lengths to Sparkling Water, even though it was receiving 2 kilos, we know what Sparkling Water is capable of doing. And I think smorgasbord will be better over 1,200 meters with the blinkers on. I'm tipping this confidently to win.
So I agree with you, Nico. And to put it into perspective, and I think you're going to agree with me here, I mean, it's a non-argument to say this. I would 99.9 times out of 100 take even money smorgasbord than 7 to 10 about the one in the previous race, Sergei. Sergei.
Yeah.
I mean, to me, that's a no-brainer. I mean, I'd rather be rushing to take smorgasbord at evens than 7 to 10 Sergei. Now, they might both win. It's not impossible. But like you, Nico, I'm all over smorgasbord. He'll have to be at his A game because you mentioned it's a very nice field. I mean, there's some useful horses. This Team Gold is no mug.
Yeah.
He's run to William Robertson and very close up to Bard of Avon, and he's level weights with smorgasbord. And the Roy Magna yard, Cottonos, by the way, ran very creditably.
Yes, well, I thought
despite the fact, despite the fact that I had heard from the yard very late on Saturday that he'd had a setback or two. He'd had colic the previous week. So they weren't as bullish actually as we were, but he ran very nicely. Nice horse. So the yard's in good form. I mean, Sheldon's no slouch. It's run behind Ambiorex, and it ran 3rd in the Cape Nursery. So it's a high quality field. And just coming back to it, Nick, because you tipped Tanzanite Queen last time, and you liked this filly. And we liked Freed from Desire on the weekend, who came out with 1 and franked the form.
We did.
So I know she's a filly, but she's a 4-year-old filly. Yeah. I thought this, as you say, was the best race. And interesting, just a little bit of tickled money for Stuart Pettigrew, who I respect, at the bottom. So for me, smorgasbord, a clear first choice. But, there are other options. If he's not bringing his A game, there could be a surprise.
I like the fitting of the blinkers. I've only seen that they put the blinkers on. In fact, the declaration of the blinkers at 7:06 this morning. So it's been done really early, but I like that move, and I think that could be the winning move for Lawrence and Team Wilson to the party today. So that's my best bet of the day. I'm going smorgasbord or broke here. Okay, we move on to
I'd go smorgasbord, cover the field.
The last race of the day, Neil, is a classified stakes. It's over 1,000 meters. This could be entertaining. 5:10 is the off time here. By the way, just the previous race, we don't know who's riding Tanzanite Queen because Kamala's not riding. They haven't declared a rider yet for that just yet, so Tanzanite Queen. But the last race, the changes, all of numbers 1, 5, and 10. Alamites in front, Unshot behind. And then the blinkers now have been put on the 6. Life goes on. We'll be sporting blinkers today. Neil, I'll leave it open to you. Being a classified stakes race, the first thing I did was turn to the fillies. There's quite a few here that we've been for before, but the fillies are from number 7 through to 11. So the last 5 horses are all fillies. Take the fillies in a subset of the main field and tell us what your feelings are of the bottom 5 horses.
I'm going to be of no assistance. I'm going to say field in the fillies race. You just put all fillies in.
Yeah, they're much of a muchness,
I do.
They
are much of a muchness. I just want to point out here the trumpet, right? If Colin Jacobs was claiming 4, it would be my first choice, but he's lost 1.5 kilograms. Now that does affect the handicapping a little bit, plus perhaps a negative of the 1 draw brings, in that fillies subset, brings her back to her field a little bit and probably leads me towards Allez Le Bleu, who is from that Magna yard. Muzzy's riding great for the yard. And so Allez Le Bleu would be in the subset, I would go for her. But that's not to say that the others couldn't surprise.
Yeah.
So I would, it's very messy. And here's the thing with regards to the colts in the subset, field. So, what I'm saying is you've got to banker your smorgasbords. If you like smorgasbord as Nico does, and I think he's right, and you've got alternative potential bankers, I like this pick 6, Nico, today. I think you've got options to banker, and if you get them right, you want to run to field in the last race.
Yeah. You run to field. I've looked at the fillies, Neil. I'm not normally one to go against fillies in a classified stakes race, but I rate them much as funny enough. I do think your Allez Le Bleu out of the fillies might be the right one. Madame Patrice, much does that cost us before? But I mean, it's got a chance again.
It's got a huge chance. I mean, it's
got a chance. Ryan Munger rides it fairly well, you know.
But she's held. If you look at even with Colin Jacobs only taking 2.5 off. On the run on the 3rd of August, here the trumpets got Allez Le Bleu and Madame Patrice beat. And then on the run on the 26th of August, here the trumpets got Madame Patrice comfortably beaten. She actually is 2.5 kilograms better off and beat at 2 lengths.
The one draw worries me. The one draw worries me.
The draw is bad,
Yeah, the one draw worries me here. It's not in its favor. That's why I'm leaning towards Allez Le Bleu. But of the colts, you know, I like Frontline Fighter. I think but 16 to 10 is very skinny for him. Jet Cat comes into it on a couple of runs. So therefore, I'd agree with you, field, Neil. Just quickly to let you know that Procrastinator's a late scratching in race 5. That's just come through race 5. Scratch Procrastinator. Still no.
That's a frustrating horse, eh? Yeah. If I was the Vensels, I'd be pulling my hair up because I don't know what's going on there. He just can't. I don't know. Maybe he's just prone to. He's been so disappointing. What does it say? Why?
Or feed.
I'm going to speak to Paul next time I see him and the Vensels about that because I'm sure they must be. Because I think he's actually not a bad horse, but he just can't get to the races now. When he gets there, he's not. He must be driving them balmy. Okay, Procrastinator and no further replacement for Kamalo?
No further replacement. We've got them all. We know that Munger's on the one you liked, Cape Town Affair. We've got Lorena on Cooper Trooper and Apache Gold. So that is our assessment of racing today at the Vaal. We've come now to price booster time, as we mentioned. Now, earlier on, Neil, we were talking up Cooper Trooper, weren't we?
Yeah, well, I'll tell you what I thought. I was beginning to think with Gavin Arena picking up all of those rides, I was thinking of a little patent or a Yankee with both the Lorena horses and maybe finding another value runner because he picked up 2 nice rides, didn't he? He picked up Cooper Trooper.
He picked up Cooper Trooper and Apache Gold he picked up.
And Apache Gold. Yeah. But anyway, that would be getting a bit greedy, I suppose. Anything later on in the card?
No, just Smorgasbord, Neil, was the one that we were fairly bullish on, but that's even money. You know, I didn't like anything at the last race.
Well, who's riding Smorgasbord, Nico?
Kennedy.
Kennedy, okay.
Yeah.
I'm just looking for a third one that Lorena might be riding. I suppose he might pick up the ride on Tanzanite Queen. It's not impossible that he does that. He can ride 57.5. He hasn't got a ride in that race. But anyway, I'm with you on Smorgasbord anyway, so that becomes a moot point. Okay, Nico. So I don't know what would
I think we're
which
gonna
one
go
then?
Cooper Trooper, I think, Neil.
Let me ask you this question: what would the place double, the Lorena place double, work out to be? Cooper Trooper, and you'd get 5-2, wouldn't you?
Okay, well, let me just have a quick look. If you allow me some license to just look and see, I'll be able to give you an answer any moment. Just going to have a quick look and see, and then we can work it out. So what are you saying? The place double?
Yeah, actually, I'm looking again. I mean, you know, you're going out on a limb really with Apache Gold, aren't you? I mean, he did improve last time. I expect him to improve, but I think Cooper Trooper might be the.
I think we go.
Might be the right one.
Way, Neil. It looks to have the makings of a fairly decent.
What race is that in? I've lost the race. Is it race 3?
Yeah.
Cooper Trooper.
So race 3.
Yes, let's go Cooper Trooper.
We'll go Cooper Trooper each way. Win and place for Fani Bronkhorst runner. Cooper Trooper.
And we're keeping it in the family because it's Suzette and Barcy. We love Suzette and Barcy.
Correct. We didn't mention them. Yeah, it's Suzette and Barcy also, and of course, they invested in our syndicates. Give me the green lights. Yep. So we'll go Cooper the Trooper.
Cooper the Trooper.
Cooper the Trooper. Neil, looking forward to seeing you later on. We'll come through before the running of the first race. No doubt Uncle Les will be there. I wonder whether he'll be watching any YouTube videos today, apart from our one.
Well, I'm sure it'll get the wind up if he is, that's for sure.
Yeah.
We'll very windy, not only at the Vaal, but at Soccershop.Bet if he is.
Yeah, it'll get the wind up. Okay, so looking forward to that. Neil, we'll see you a bit later and we'll chat to you then. Thanks.